Good morning, friends. I am Captain Dr. D.K. Ramawat, working as a non-invasive cardiologist at Ramawat Heart and General Medicine Hospital, Badmer, Rajasthan, India. Today we are going to take a chapter known as Diabetes and Cardiovascular Diseases in India, and we will take it into two parts, part 1 and part 2. Today we are going to discuss part 1, Diabetes and Cardiovascular Diseases in India. I am sure you will enjoy this chapter. Let us come to start. So we are taking diabetes and cardiovascular diseases in India. First we are going to take the introduction. In the new millennium era, the cardiovascular disease have become the leading cause of morbidity and mortality across the globe and the Indian subcontinent. An estimated 215 million adults suffer from diabetes mellitus worldwide, which is poised to increase to 642 million by 2040. India, with 69 million individuals already affected by diabetes mellitus, it is one of the epicenter of global diabetes burden. It is one of the epicenters of global diabetes burden. Asian Indians, people originating from Indian subcontinent comprising India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan and Maldives constitute about 1/5 of the world population. It has been observed natives of these countries are affected by diabetes in higher proportion when compared with the rest of the world. About 25,000 individuals from 11 countries. Highest prevalence of diabetes mellitus was observed in Asian Indians. The prevalence of diabetes in Asian Indians occurred 10 years earlier. I again repeat, the prevalence of diabetes in Asian Indians occurred 10 years earlier in comparison to individuals of Japanese and Chinese origin. Even migrants, Asian Indians show a high prevalence of diabetes compared to the natives. There is an increased risk and premature cardiovascular disease among South Asian immigrants compared to other ethnic groups. So, now we will take the epidemiology. In epidemiology, approximately a quarter of all deaths in India are attributable to CVD, as suggested by the age-standardized estimates of global burden of disease study. In India, an average of 272 individuals die due to CVD, seemingly higher than the global average of 235 per 1 lakh population. Ischemic heart disease and cerebral vascular accidents appear as predominant causes contributing to CVD mortality in India, with ISD being involved in the majority. These two, ISD and CVD, accounts for 1/10 of the years of life lost. Number of years of life lost due to premature death. There is premature death. These two, ISD and CVA, account for 1/10 of the years of life lost. Indians are affected with cardiovascular diseases at least a decade earlier, at the height of their most productive midlife year as compared to the Europeans. The various risk factors and their associations with CVD as evaluated by the Inter-Heart study are as follows. The Inter-Heart study: diabetes, the increased high waist ratio, hypertension and increased ApoB and ApoA ratio. Jaipur Heart Watch study observed a high prevalence of cardiovascular risk factor and coronary heart disease in reference population in the state of Rajasthan. Deaths due to acute myocardial infarction were estimated to be 141 per 1 lakh male and 136 per 1 lakh females, which are much higher than other countries. The prevalence of ISD in urban Indians has increased from 2% in 1962 an alarming 14% in 2013. Among the rural population, it has also increased subsequently from 1.7% in 1970 to 7.4% in 2013. So we are continuing epidemiology. In 1971, the Indian Council of Medical Research initiated the first multi-center prevalence study of DM in 6 cities and adjacent villages of Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Pune, Cuttack and Trivandrum, and found that 2.1% of the urban population and 1.5% of rural residents were affected by diabetes. The National Urban Diabetes Study reported a variable prevalence of diabetes in 6 Indian cities ranging from 9.3% in Mumbai to 16.6% in Hyderabad. The prevalence of diabetes in India study, the prevalence of diabetes in India study, which included villages and small towns, reported 5.9% and 2.7% prevalence of diabetes respectively. According to recent reports of International Diabetes Federation, more than 69 million Indians, that is 7.1%, suffer from type 2 diabetes, which is projected to be double in the next 20 years. The urban diabetes prevalence rate is 8 to 20% against a rural prevalence of 5 to 15%. A total of 2.2% of rural and 9.3% of urban women in the age group of 35 to 70 years are affected by diabetes, as reflected in the Indian Women's Health Study. 62 million Indians suffered from diabetes, while another 77 million had pre-diabetes, means impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance. Cardiovascular diseases being the major cause of morbidity and mortality in patients with diabetes. A large proportion of Indians are thus at substantially high risk of death from macrovascular disease such as heart attack, stroke and peripheral vascular diseases. So we are continuing the epidemiology. Here the fibrocalculus pancreatitis diabetes, a typical and atypical form of diabetes secondary to variety of chronic calcific pancreatitis, is mostly observed in the southern states of India, especially Kerala and Tamil Nadu, but also in eastern states of Odisha and West Bengal. In these subsets of patients, microvascular complications, for example, eyes retinopathy leading to blindness, kidney nephropathy leading to renal failure, the nerves neuropathy leading to impotency and diabetic foot disorders, which include severe infections leading to amputation, are more common than macrovascular diseases, for example, ischemic heart disease, cerebral stroke and peripheral vascular diseases. In a study from southern India, prevalence of microvascular complications was found to be identical to those reported in type 2 diabetes patients. The prevalence of CAD in fibrocalculus pancreatic disease patients remained comparatively low, 5.1% in fibrocalculus pancreatic disease patients in comparison to 11.9% in type 2 diabetes mellitus patients. And in brief, we will go for statistics and complications. Diabetes is a leading cause of death worldwide. 30% loss of life expectancy from diagnosis of diabetes. Currently, there are 425 million people living with diabetes. Largest age group 40 to 59 years and 352 million with impaired glucose tolerance test. By 2045, the number of people with diabetes is expected to rise by 48% worldwide population. Now the complication in the breed. Diabetes is among the leading causes of kidney failure. More than 50%. Neuropathy and amputations. Cardiovascular diseases like heart attack and stroke account for up to 70% of all death among diabetes patients. Diabetes is the main cause of partial vision loss and blindness in people over 20 years of age. Diabetes stimulates various social, psychological conditions like job, family, driving, mood disorders, and quality of life. Now we will take the risk factors for cardiovascular diseases in India. We have completed epidemiology. Now we have come to risk factors for cardiovascular disease in India. First risk factor, dysglycemia, a risk factor for CVD in India. Dysglycemia have a positive association between fasting blood plasma glucose and cardiovascular disease. Another meta-analysis looked glycosylated hemoglobin and CVD in persons with diabetes and found 1% increase in A1C had higher risk in 80% of type 2 diabetes mellitus and 15% of type 1 diabetes mellitus respectively. In India, an estimated 60 to 80% of individuals with diabetes die of CV deaths, cardiovascular events, of which 80% are attributable to coronary artery diseases. Diabetes stems from high prevalence of major cardiovascular risk factors. For example, hypertension, lipid abnormalities, smoking, obesity, lack of physical activity, as well as certain risks specific to diabetes are hyperglycemia, diabetic dyslipidemia, systemic inflammation, oxidation, and glycation-related vascular endothelial injury. Now, obesity, visceral adiposity in particular, is associated with low-grade subclinical systemic inflammation and plays an important role in endothelial dysfunction, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. So we are continuing a risk factor, dysglycemia, for the development of complications of the cardiovascular diseases. Now, South Asians particularly are found to have elevated level of high sensitive C-reactive protein when compared to their European counterparts, measured for total body and truncal subcutaneous fat. Vascular endothelial dysfunction is one of the cornerstone in the development of progression of atherosclerosis, coronary artery disease. Impairment of the endothelial function leads to impaired vasodilatation capacity, increased predisposition to thrombosis, dysregulation of vascular remodeling, means undergo structural reorganization, impaired modulation means controlling of vascular growth, enhanced permeability, and augmented vascular smooth muscle cell stiffness and adhesions, increased stiffness and adhesions. These leads to what? Increased adhesions of activated platelets and leukocytes, enhanced responsiveness to vasoconstrictors, increased diapedesis means cause extravasation of leukocytes, reduced level of prostacyclins and nitric oxide which inhibit platelet activation and causes vasodilatation have been implicated in the pathogenesis of accelerated atherosclerosis in patients with diabetes. In patients with type 2 diabetes, especially those with microalbuminuria and CAD, plasma level of von Willebrand factor a marker of endothelial damage. This is the Willebrand factor, a marker of endothelial damage or elevated. It is associated with marker of increased oxidative stress and reflects severity of biochemical derangement, culminating in the development of diabetic vascular disease. Impaired synthesis of nitric oxide and endothelial derived relaxation factor. Again I repeat, impaired synthesis of nitric oxide and endothelial derived relaxation factor is reflected in attenuated pro-mediated vasodilatation in individuals with diabetes. So, we are continuing dysglycemia, a risk factor for cardiovascular complication of diabetes. In dysglycemia, a procoagulant mili means the environment is what? In dysglycemia, the environment of increased fibrinogen level, plasminogen activation inhibitor 1 and decreased level of tissue plasminogen activator have been observed in Asian Indians. Even after adjusting for hypertension, obesity, smoking in an Asian sex-mixed population, type 2 diabetes itself confirms a 3 to 4 times higher risk of cardiovascular disease in Asian Indians when compared to their white Caucasian, white-skinned North American counterparts. The occurrence of triple vessel disease. The occurrence of triple vessel disease is greater in Asian Indians with diabetes with an estimated 40% higher mortality after an acute coronary event in comparison to white population. The incidence of peripheral vascular disease, however, remains low in India. Chennai Urban Rural Epidemiology Study reported the prevalence of peripheral vascular disease to be only 8.6% in South Indians with type 2 diabetes against 23.5% in the United Kingdom and 20 to 30% in United States of America. Increased duration of diabetes. Female sex, increasing age were found to be associated with a higher incidence of peripheral vascular disease. The second risk factor for cardiovascular diseases in diabetes is dyslipidemia. Dyslipidemia, a risk factor for CVD in India. Number 1, atherogenic dyslipidemia, a combination of hypertriglyceridemia and low plasma concentration of high density lipoprotein cholesterol are associated with elevated level of apolipoprotein B and low density lipoprotein LDL particles which are atherogenic and are widely prevalent in Asian Indians. Dysfunctional adipose tissue consisting of lipid-rich cells and they store energy in the form of lipids. They exhibit what? They are exhibiting diminished sensitivity to insulin, means insulin resistance, a marker of this your metabolic syndrome. Reduced hormone sensitivity, lipase activity. It means what? Reduced digestion of food, resulting in what? An increased breakdown of intracellular triglycerides with increased release of free fatty acids into the circulation and fatty infiltration of liver. Don't forget fatty infiltration of liver, muscles and pancreatic beta cells. Increased, number 3rd point, increased hepatic free fatty acids leads to augmented hepatic synthesis of triglycerides and results in elevated levels of VLDL particles which mainly carrying triglycerides. Remember, VLD is carrying mainly triglycerides. contributing to the characteristic of hypertriglyceridemia. The cholesterol ester transfer protein. The cholesterol ester transfer protein changes triglycerides from VLDL, leading to atherogenic cholesterol-rich VLDL particles. Triglyceride-rich LDL particles undergo metabolism by lipase, leading to the formation of small dense atherogenic LDL particles. High-density lipoprotein particles with such modifications are readily cleared by the kidney with resultant lower level of HDL cholesterol. Asian Indians tend to have lower level of HDL and increased small dense atherogenic LDL and VLDL when compared to white Caucasian. The ICMR India B study reported 72.3% of Indians have low level of HDL cholesterol. 29.5% have hypertriglyceridemia. 13.9% have hypercholesterolemia. And 1.8% have elevated level of LDL cholesterol. Highest prevalence of hypercholesterolemia means 18.3% and LDL cholesterol 15.8% are found in southern India, Tamil Nadu. I again repeat, highest prevalence of hypercholesterolemia 18.3% and LDL cholesterol 15.8% are found in southern India, that is in Tamil Nadu. Highest rate of hypertriglyceridemia 38.6% are found in northern India, that is in Chandigarh, while lowest HDL level are found in the eastern part of country, that is Jharkhand. And now the fifth point, increased risk of type 2 diabetes posed densered by visceral adiposity could be related to higher fat cell number of abdominal adipose tissue, that is increased belly. Never forget increased belly. Increased receptors for cortisol and testosterone. Higher blood flow. Increased influx of non-esterified fatty acids. These are released from triglycerides by action of lipase in the liver. And an accentuated catecholamine induced lipolysis means breakdown of the fat to release fatty acids. Then I will take the third risk factor, hypertension. Hypertension, a risk factor for CVD in India. An incidence of 35.6% and 29.1% among men and women in Mumbai, and a lower prevalence of 24% and 22% among men and women in Kolkata are found. What found? Increased sodium retention, augmented vascular tone, and diabetic kidney disease predisposed diabetic individuals to develop hypertension. Now, number 1 point in hypertension. In patients with diabetes mellitus and hypertension, aortic pulse wave velocity. Never forget, aortic pulse wave velocity, a marker of aortic stiffness. A marker of aortic stiffness has been shown to be a reliable predictor of future cardiovascular events. Increased brachial ankle pulse wave velocity. I again repeat, increased brachial ankle pulse wave velocity has been also associated with symptomatic ischemic cerebral vascular events like stroke. Pulse wave velocity is a useful measure in assessing severity of atherosclerosis and thus may successfully predict future cardiovascular events in patients with diabetes. So now I will take the fourth risk factor, the sedentary lifestyle, a risk factor for CVD in India. With economic liberalization, increase in sedentary and less labor-intensive occupations has led to a drastic declining occupational physical activity. Moreover, national data reveals that Less than 10% of Indian population are involved in recreational physical activity. Asian Indians have been known to be less intensive labor and physical activity in comparison with other ethnic groups. Studies in the United States and United Kingdom reported that only 51.8% and 32.38% of respective immigrants, South Asians, are physically active. Daily exercise rates are alarming low in Asian Indians and women of South Asian ancestry who do not appreciate the benefit of appropriate mode and intensity of exercise due to social beliefs. During exercise, a lower level of cardiorespiratory fitness and a diminished ability for fat oxidation have consistently been observed in South Asians compared to those of European origins. Now I am taking the fifth, tobacco, a risk factor for CVD in India. Approximately 275 million individuals aged elder than or equal to 15 years consume some form of tobacco in India. For example, smoking cigarette or bidi, and hookah also, chewing the tobacco, sniffing the tobacco mixed products, they chew gutka and zarda are the various forms of tobacco used in India. The annual Indian mortality rate due to smoking is estimated at 1 million. In India, the mortality rate attributable to tobacco consumption has increased significantly from 1.4% in 90 to 13.3% in 2020. Smokeless tobacco, SLT, smokeless tobacco, for example chewing, sniffing, gutka and zarda and bidi smoking are most prevalent forms of tobacco used in India. Prevalence of smoking is higher in men, 24%, compared to women, 3% only. Despite a modest decrease in smoking prevalence, the absolute number of male smokers in age group 15 to 69 years has increased significantly over the last 15 years. Remember, despite a modest decrease in smoking prevalence, the absolute number of male smokers has increased in last 15 years. Indian government has launched a public campaign against various forms of tobacco use, which are being pursued aggressively at present. So, we have come to the sixth risk factor, a dietary habit, a risk factor for CVD in India. With increase in job security, it means a person with job security is such that a person with job would have a small chance of losing it. And disposable income. With increase in job security and disposable income. Disposable income means what? Income remaining after deduction of taxes and social security charges available to spend. So, with increasing job security and disposable income, the consumption of refined grain products means polished white rice, wheat flour has progressively increased in comparison to whole grains, although the total percentage of carbohydrate consumption remains fairly constant. A study conducted in Chennai revealed individuals with highest intake of refined cereals were found to have 7.83-fold higher odds of developing metabolic syndrome and 7.9% greater prevalence of elevated fasting plasma glucose levels when compared to those in the lowest quartiles. Then third point in dietary habits, the National Family Health Survey 3. The National Family Health Survey 3 involving 1,56,316 individuals reported that almost half of the population in its survey consumed only one serving of fruit per week or none at all. Remember, they consumed only one serving of fruit per week or none at all. An inter-heart study revealed that Asian Indians had a lower daily intake of fruit and vegetables in comparison to non-Asian counterparts. Then Vegetables in Indian meals are often reported to be overcooked. Overcooking is in India, leading to a loss of vitamin micronutrients. Overcooking leading to loss of vital micronutrients. Micronutrients are nutrients what your body needs. They include vitamin D, which occurs from what? Sunlight, fish oil and milk. And vitamin K deficiency we get from leafy greens, soya beans and pumpkins. Individuals with type 2 diabetes in India demonstrated that Indians consume greater amount of carbohydrate than Americans with similar dietary pattern nationwide. It dispels the myth that South Indians alone consume higher carbohydrate amount in their diet. Diet of Asian Indians is rich in saturated fatty acid and rich in omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acid and trans fatty acid with low level of protective omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids. So we are running the dietary habits in India. Here we are taking we are taking omega-6 fatty acids consumption. Omega-6 fatty acids are a type of polyunsaturated fatty acids found in vegetable oils, nuts and seeds. When eaten in moderation and in place of saturated fats found in meats and dairy products, saturated meats. So omega-6 fatty acids can be good for your heart if taken in moderate amount. Unfortunately, we eat too much omega-6, which is found in the corn oil and vegetable oil used in so much American food. Too much omega-6 can raise your blood pressure, lead to blood clots that can cause heart attack, stroke and cause your body to retain water, means edema and asarka. Intake of clarified butter, that is ghee, partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, means vegetable ghee or vanaspati ghee, and coconut oil with high saturated and trans fat content constitute a major part of dietary fat intake in India. With increased migration of rural individuals to urban areas, these unhealthy dietary habits are fast adopted by them, leading to a higher prevalence of diabetes in these migrants with compared to their village kings. In a study conducted on migrant South Asia and Asian population in United Kingdom, average daily energy intake was estimated to be 2100 kilocalories with constituent carbohydrate, protein and fat, distribution of 57%, 14% and 30% respectively. A positive correlation between cardiovascular diseases mortality rates in India and dietary consumption of fats, milk products and sugars have been observed. Intake of green leafy vegetables, on other hand, reduced CVD risk proportionately. Now the seventh risk factor is thrifty phenotype hypothesis and Barker hypothesis. We are taking two hypotheses, thrifty phenotype hypothesis and Barker hypothesis, a risk factor for CVD in India. First we take the thrifty phenotype hypothesis, proposes that epidemiological association between poor fetal and infant growth and the subsequent development of type 2 diabetes and the metabolic syndrome result from effects of poor nutrition in early life, which produces permanent changes in glucose insulin metabolism. So we have taken thrifty gene hypothesis, now we are taking the Barker hypothesis. Proposed that adverse nutrition in early life, including prenatally in uterus, as measured by low birth weight and short birth length. Low birth weight and short birth length means thrifty gene hypothesis. Increased susceptibility to metabolic syndrome, which includes obesity, diabetes, decreased insulin sensitivity, that is insulin resistance, hypertension and hyperlipidemia. and complications that include coronary heart disease and stroke. Periods of rapid postnatal growth associated with high energy intake seems to be risk factor, along with a high energy Western diet. Theories proposing the mechanism of this association include thrifty gene number 1, beta hedging number 2, fetal predictive adaptive response PAR number 3, and thrifty phenotype hypothesis 4. So thrifty gene is what? Which enable individual to inefficiently collect and process food to deposit fat for periods of food shortage in feast and famine. And beta hedging means decreases fitness in stressful conditions. Fetal predictive adaptive response PAR means developmental plasticity molding. Then thrifty phenotype hypothesis means decreased fetal growth strongly associated with a number of chronic conditions later in life. For example, decreased supply of nutrients. Associations between poor fetal growth and subsequent development of type 2 diabetes have been hypothesized in thrifty phenotype hypothesis. Poor nutrition in early life produces a permanent change in glucose insulin dynamics and metabolism. Poor nutrition imposes mechanism of nutritional thrift on the growing individual and leads to impaired development of the endocrine pancreas and increased susceptibility to development of type 2 diabetes. Development of insulin resistance early in life renders the pancreatic beta cells less capable of compensating for the decline in insulin sensitivity with age. So, we are running dietary habits in India. Now, additionally, reduced insulin secretion and insulin resistance coupled with obesity, physical inactivity, aging are important determinants of early development of hyperglycemia and to set diabetes. The hypothesis in all probability holds true for Asian Indians and enhances the susceptibility for early onset of diabetes and CVD. Many studies in India have confirmed this association. So, for example, a study in India observed a high prevalence of impaired glucose tolerance and type 2 diabetes. A study in India observed a high prevalence of impaired glucose tolerance and type 2 diabetes in Indians, possibly linked to a poor fetal growth, and reiterated the possibility that type 2 diabetes could have been programmed during fetal life in uterus due to changes in intrauterine villi environment. Cord blood of otherwise healthy Asian Indian infants were also found to have elevated level of insulin compared to their Western counterparts. Insulin disposition index. Remember, the insulin disposition index, a marker of beta cell dysfunction, was found to be low in mildly dysglycemic Asian Indian patients, reflecting a steady decline in functional capability of endocrine pancreas, probably an expression of the nutrition thrift. Higher level of adiposity have been observed in small for gestational age infants. Term used to describe a baby who is smaller than usual amount for the number of weeks of pregnancy. SGA babies usually have birth weight below the 10th percentile for babies of same gestational age. So, higher level of adiposity have been observed in small for gestational age infants born to undernourished mothers. Low maternal level of vitamin B12, especially with normal to high folate levels, have also been found to be associated with increased body fat content and insulin resistance in the offspring. SGA babies who undergo rapid weight gain, adiposity rebound after the age of 12 years are particularly at high risk of developing impaired carbohydrate and DM tolerance during adolescence. An accelerated increase in body mass index of children, a phenomenon of nutritional transition thrift, coupled with physical inactivity and age-related decline in insulin sensitivity may partly explain the current epidemic of type 2 diabetes and CVD in India. So, now we are going to take number 8th point, epigenetic and genetic risk factor for CVD in India. Epigenetic means what? Features that are on top of or in addition to the traditional genetic basis for inheritance. So, the transcription factor 7 like 2 single nucleotide polymorphism is the strongest available genetic marker of type 2 diabetes mellitus. In India, genome-wide association study evaluating population-specific genetic and epigenetic factors predisposing Asian susceptibility foci were identified on Asian Indian individuals in type 2 diabetes mellitus. In another genome-wide association study comprising 2 ethnic groups from Jaipur and New Delhi and Chennai, the TME M163 gene was found susceptible for type 2 diabetes mellitus. In genome-wide association study involving Punjabi 6 single nucleotide polymorphism within SGCG gene was found susceptible to type 2 diabetes mellitus. The Pro12 ALA polymorphism of PPARY gene, which is protective against type 2 diabetes mellitus in whites, does not seem to extend the same beneficial effect on Asian Indians. Now I am going to take screening and prevention of Indian diabetes risk scores. Here, the diabetes mellitus and its complications constitute an important health problem with a significant burden of mortality and morbidity in the incident population. Early screening and primary prevention are the important initial steps in achieving control of this pandemic. The Indian Diabetes Risk Score. The Indian Diabetes Risk Score screening is a cost-effective measure in identifying individuals at high risk of developing diabetes. Individuals with baseline Indian Diabetes Risk Score more than or equal to 60 are 3 times more prone to develop diabetes than those with score less than 30. In 2010, the Government of India launched the first phase of National Program for Control of Cancer, Diabetes, cardiovascular diseases and stroke, which subsequently strengthened in 2013 and 2014. Early diagnosis and treatment coupled with measures aimed at prevention through lifestyle changes mark the 4 founding principles of the program. Prevention and control of National Program for Controlling of Diabetes through lifestyle changes and modified nutrition therapy and also for national control the Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram. The Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, launched in January 2014, works with the objective of improving mental health, nutrition and prevention of National Program for Control of Diabetes in adolescents. Certain non-government organizations, NGOs, funded projects have tried to address the need for surveillance and awareness of National Program for Control of Diabetes. Of them, a large project, first, medical education for children and adolescents for realistic prevention of obesity and diabetes and for healthy aging have been functioning in North India. Second, modification of nutrition lifestyle going on. Third, coupled with education on behavior modification, metabolic risk profile and anthropometry have been included. Above education resulted in healthy lifestyle practices decreased wastage ratio, diminished subclinical inflammation, which was reflected by lower high sensitive CRP levels, and an improved metabolic profile of adolescents. In India, state-of-the-art diabetes care is available only in tertiary care centers and dedicated facilities available in large cities. However, lack of trained medical personnel and inadequate infrastructure precludes comprehensive management of diabetes in majority of rural India. So, here the several initiatives like the certificate course in evidence-based diabetes management and certificate course in gestational diabetes mellitus have been launched to train medical practitioners, thereby building capacity within the public health setup to cope with the rising national burden of the diabetes. Over 7,500 physicians and 2,500 obstetricians and 2,500 educators have been successfully trained through the certificate course in evidence-based diabetes management and certificate course in gestational diabetes mellitus and the National Diabetes Educator Program. With the advent of technology, telemedicine has the potential to become an important tool in catering efficiently to remote areas of India. The Chunampar Rural Diabetes Prevention Project, conducted in 42 villages of Tamil Nadu, bears a testimony for telemedicine. Using telemedicine, screening for diabetes and its complications were performed with help of well-equipped touring vehicles. Information obtained from retinal photography, biothiometers, ECG and Doppler imaging. A rural center was set up for delivery of diabetes care. The program resulted in significant reduction of A1C reduction from 9.3 to 8.5 within a year of its operation, and served as a successful model for screening and delivery of diabetes care in rural India. The effect of mobile phone based messaging to enable lifestyle changes was evaluated in an urban population of South India. The Indian Diabetes Prevention Program, like lifestyle modification, metformin or routine care in pre-diabetes population conducted, and after 30 months it was observed that lifestyle modification reduced risk of diabetes by 28.5% compared to 58% in diabetes prevention program, and metformin use reduced risk of diabetes by 26.4% compared to 31% of diabetes prevention program respectively. In the last but not the least, I am going to take these findings are in tune with the other landmarks. These findings are in tune with the other landmark preventive studies carried out in the Western world. According to Diabetes Prevention Program, intensive lifestyle intervention led to 58% reduction in diabetes incidence when compared to placebo, and remained reduced by 34% after 10 years of follow-up. In the Finnish Diabetes Prevention Study Group, intensive lifestyle changes led to 58% reduction in incidence of diabetes. So this was the part 1 of diabetes and cardiovascular complications of diabetes in India, and I hope you must have liked it, and I thank you very much for your kind attention, and soon I am going to take part 2 within 5 days of diabetes and cardiovascular diseases in India. Thank you very much for your kind attention.